Good evening, everybody. We're going to get started. I want to welcome everybody to the 6th Annual Community Service Award. Tonight we have 7 honorees. We have 5 honorees that's going to receive the Ruth Patillo Award, and then we have 2 youth awards. This youth award is brand new to this function, but it will continue to go on. We're going to honor 2 youth who are doing community work and also holding a certain grade point average up at the school. So that's how we're going to base the youth awards. All right, so we have the raffles going around. Everybody is for the television and the 2 baskets, $1 a ticket, 6 for $5. So please help out. We're also going to do a 50-50. This is the way that we earn our money to have this function next year. We have no supporters. Me and my wife is on the committee. My wife and Annette. We're on the committee, and then we ask for donations, which don't seem to be a problem, but we need committee members. We need people to be part of this committee. We would like to have 6 to 8 people who are going to be part of this committee going forward. We also would like to have some younger people. I'm getting kind of old and I can't continue to do this, so we would like to have somebody in Lamont's age group or Andre's age group to kind of take this thing over, to take it the next 10, 15 years. Okay, so we're going to get started tonight with our first honoree. Our first honoree is no longer with us. He's gone, but he's certainly not forgotten. Anybody from this community that's over the age of 45 knows this man and knows what he's done, the work he's done in this community. He took the young males off the street. He had the Boy Scouts, then he had baseball, then he had softball. We actually used to play the 2 complexes against each other, and this man was at the forefront of this whole thing. So I'd like to give this first award to Thomas Bates, and I'd like to bring up his son Mike, who came all the way from South Carolina to accept it.
I just want to say thank you for everybody who's coming out, for those who knew my dad.
Mike.
I definitely want to say thank you to Dennis and Annette. I've actually watched them do this for the first time, and I haven't just tipped my hat to them. I tip my hat to my family, to all those that knew my dad. I want to leave this here because I thought it would be appropriate to leave it here for my dad, but they said I got to take it. So it's going to go home with me, but hopefully you guys won't forget him. And he was my hero, so I'm grateful. But thank everybody. Thanks for coming out, everyone. All my friends.
I also like to say that we are now not doing Old Timers Day. Everybody know that Old Timers Day is this Sunday. We now don't call it Old Timers Day. We call it Old Timers Weekend, because we start from tonight, and then tomorrow is the 17th White Affair, a dance that we're having, and then Sunday is the Old Timers Day, which has been going on over 50 years. All right, so that's how so it's no longer Old Timers Day, it's now Old Timers Weekend. All right. Okay, our second honoree. This person was the chairman of our community. I don't know if you noticed, this person was at the forefront when this building was getting ready to get taken away from us. He was at the forefront doing the fighting for this building. Okay, he was the chairman of the community. He did a lot of things for this community. And with saying that, I want to bring up Jerome Blanco. Mr. Blanco.
I
really get nervous when I talk in front of a lot of people. So the thing that calms me down is I ask for your permission to speak. I said, can we talk? So I asked, can we talk? Yes, we can. You know, I had reservations about accepting this award because when I was down here, a lot of things happened. A lot of big things happened and some trying things happened. I first got involved in 1994. A couple guys came up to my house and they said, you need to come down to the center, see what's going on down there. You're not going to believe it, the place is in disrepair, it's closed up. And I didn't really believe it, but I came down, it was Ronnie Mason, Dedrick Johnson, and Darren Oliver. When I got down here, and I looked at the building, I couldn't believe it. The building was closed, the only thing that was happening here was I think it was the Head Start and Adventures in Learning. Everything else was closed. And to give you some history, this building was opened in 1929. It was the Valley School District. It was part of the school district, Valley Schools, and it was part of the school district until 1964, when the Manhasset School Board voted to desegregate the district and bring us up to Muncie Park and I believe Clandone Road. At that point in 1964, it was transferred to the town of North Hempstead. So people who grew up in this neighborhood and remember this as the center, remember it as the center with Conway and Maynard and all of these fantastic programs going on. And the agency that was funding it at that time was actually the town of North Hempstead. This is a time in our country where there was plenty of funding for poverty programs, so money was flowing into the neighborhood, it wasn't a problem. But that started drying up in the late 70s. And in 1980, the town bailed on us. They did a good thing, but they did a bad thing. What they did was they transferred the title of the building to the Manhasset Great Neck ELC. And instead of helping to maintain the building, the operating expenses, cleaning it, repairing the building, they told the ELC that they were going to contribute funding, and then they reneged on that promise. So the Manhasset community owned the building as of 1980, but lacked the resources to really maintain it and keep the funding at the level, keep the funding coming in so that the programming could be at the level that it was. I remember this place being so vibrant. I was stunned when I came down here that day. It was, I guess, at that time in 1994, when I became part of the, I guess it was an advisory board for the ELC because we were in receivership. Sometime between 1980 and 1994, Regis ELC of Nassau County took over the building. We found out that they transferred the deed from the Manhasset community to Hempstead ELC. And what I am most proud of is being part of the fight to restore the title of the building back to the Manhasset community. I was part of the board during that. In 1997, we filed a motion for, filed a lawsuit against ELC. It took a year and a half, 2 years for the title to be restored. And then at that point, all of our funding was cut off. We had to get additional funding coming in for new sources. We basically had to start from scratch. There were plenty of people who helped. Doug was here, Joanne Bell, many others in the community. The best thing about my time down here was what I learned in serving the community. I was the treasurer for 3 years and the chair for 10. I learned down here how to run a nonprofit. I learned down here how to raise money. I learned down here how to interact with the community. It's me who should be thanking the community for giving me the opportunity to serve you. I'm Jerome Blocker. I grew up in the South.
I forgot to do this. We haven't read it, so I'm gonna have Jerome to read what the plaque says. So,
the Ruth Patillo Award presented in appreciation of Jerome Blocker with sincere thanks for your commitment and dedication to the community service on behalf of the Manhasset Breakneck friends and family on this date, July 7, 2017. We are the community salute and honor your name, for you have honored us.
thank you. Thank you, Jerome. Jerome gave us a lot of history about this center, and for all of you younger people, this is why this center is still open. This is exactly why this center is still open. All right, moving right along. Our next honoree. Our next honoree. Everyone, if you are under 30, then you probably know her as Auntie June. She's our only female who's getting honored tonight. If you have kids that are under 25, they probably know her as Auntie June. She is the nurse of the community. She is the auntie of the community. It's my pleasure to bring up June Davis.
Thank you. Thank you all. This is an honor. I mean, to be blessed with this is truly an honor. And I'd just like to thank God and my mother who's on her way. And my son who's on his way. And my limo you never said must be on the way. Waited for it. It's truly an honor. I start my journey here some 50 years ago on Allen Drive. My mother brought me and my sister here from New Orleans, Louisiana. And our first church was First Baptist. The first address was 65 Allen Drive. My first friends was Leslie, Jerome, Lamont, Tony and Benita Williams. First role in the projects, we was on Allen Drive. Then we moved up on the big leagues and moved into projects. 90 Pond Hill Road. And then I met some more of my friends. My friend Sharon, when I needed a date for the prom, she said, my brother Stevie, he'll take you. And so he did. And thank you. Also met my first love here, currently known as my baby daddy, Doug. We here in this community are just the community. What Miss Patillo and Mr. Conway, and there's my Bessie right there, Miss Debbie. What they set up for us was a great thing, a wonderful thing. It was activities, it was cultures, it was arts. My first performance was on this stage. The first dress I ever made, Miss Patillo helped me make it. Miss Green taught me how to set a table. It is truly a blessing to get the Clint Conway Award. Oh, here we go. All right, sorry about that. I got the Ruth Patillo Award. Could you have text me that? Needless to say, Miss Patillo was an icon here. And when I came here, and there was the first fashion show, and I didn't have a dress, Miss Patillo helped me make a dress. And so that I could perform in the talent show, in the fashion show. I remember Dennis up here doing the, what was it, Temptations. We have history here. This is our history. And now, currently today, I'm so blessed to be a part of that, to carry on the legacy. Yes, the little children call me Auntie June, and I love it. Trust and believe, I love it. And I'm glad that I could be a part of their lives, along with Miss Holden. She's my cousin, she's from New Orleans. And I also gave her the name of Fairy Godmother because if there's something that someone in this community needs, she waves her magic wand for us. So just give her a little shout out in the hand because Miss Holder, we appreciate you. And we want you to always know that. Okay, we love and appreciate you. We might not say it, but we love and appreciate you. And my sidekick, Stephanie, it's a blessing for me to be by her side. She's another icon in this community. I feel blessed to be Auntie June. I feel blessed to be the nurse. I will do whatever I can to help anybody in this community. This is a part of my legacy now. I always wanted to be somewhere else, but God said, you need to be here. And I'm here for the children, and I thank you, and I thank you for this award.
Jill said a lot of good things. I want to ditto her on Miss Diane Holden. She's now taking interest in our program. So with her youth program, we're going to start honoring these youth at this ceremony also. So I'd like to thank her for that. June also said a lot of history in here. A lot of history in this building. I've been here now 50 years in this town here, and I don't plan on going anywhere. This is the last stop for me. So I give back. This is what I do. This is what I like to do, like June also. I love this community, and I do what I can for this community. So with saying that, we're going to move on to the next recipient. This next guy, anytime you need him, he's there. Whether it's money, whether it's his time, whether it's anything that we ask in this community, this next guy is always there. Okay? He volunteers every year. He don't live here anymore. He still comes back to volunteer in this town. With saying that, I'd like to bring up Mr. Stephen Robinson.
Wow, after those first two nominees, it's kind of difficult to say anything. I think they wrapped it all up. And June, we had a great time one day at the prom, didn't we? It was absolutely wonderful. I bring a little more history to this community. I've actually been here for 60 years. I actually went to school here. I finished off second grade. Jerome was talking, great history, Jerome. Jerome was talking about the integration of the school system, and it took place in 1964. And one of the things that we all need to remember, that there's some great icons. One of the things, we had some great icons in this community. The real heroes are the parents that we had, who were in here, you know, like they said, from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. And those, I accept this award on their behalf because, you know, we can't name everybody, but those are truly the ones who set the path for us to be doing what we're doing today. There was 5 individuals who were involved in the integration of the school system, and one of them is right here, which is my mother, Ruth Robinson. And I am truly grateful for that. And I think growing up in her house allowed me to understand what community service was all about. And this is very important to work for your community. I was born here in Manhasset. North Shore Hospital opened up in 1954. I was born here in 56. I think my mother stamped on me a life sentence because I've been working at North Shore for the last 40 years. So I'm doing life in Manhasset here. I will always be a part of this community. I don't intend to leave North Shore. I don't intend to leave this community. The most important thing I think I find in life is that we need to always look at how significant is our life to other people. You know, we can acquire the material things in life, we can acquire the riches in life, but that doesn't mean anything if we're not doing something for someone else. And I think every day that I get up, I take a moment to say, I need to help someone. And many times, I don't have to go and seek that, to look for someone to help. Someone comes to me, and someone probably comes to each one of us. Whether you have to answer a question, whether you have to knock on a door for somebody, whether you have to open a door for someone, guess what? We all need to definitely help each other. And this is what I grew up in this community doing. I've been servicing, it started here, but I've been servicing many other communities on Long Island, okay? Minority communities, the Hempstead community. I ran the largest soup kitchen. I directed the largest soup kitchen there I've been going there for about 4 or 5 years, but for about 12 years, the Interfaith Nutrition Network, the Mary Brennan Soup Kitchen. I ran that soup kitchen for about 12 years. Not only were we serving people and giving them a nourishing meal, but my job was to help people with employment, get people into education, okay? And I did that as a volunteer for a couple years, and then they said, you know something, we're gonna hire you on staff. And they didn't have to hire me on staff, but I was very appreciative that they did. Today I'm very grateful because 1 year ago, I was put into the hospital. God is really good. I went to the hospital, had just about shut my kidneys down, and I was paralyzed with gout, and I had a heart attack while in the hospital. I had to learn how to walk again. And during this time, it allowed me to reflect on all the important things that took place in my life. And what it did was it brought me right back to this community. It was so important for me to get healthy so that I can come out and still help the individuals in the community. So whenever and I say that to say this, that we never know what tomorrow's going to bring us. So it's very important that we continue to support one another, we continue to help each other, and we continue to fight for what's right in the community. One of my missions today, now that I'm healthy and I'm back on my feet, one of my missions today, I want to see every child in school, in college. There's no reason today why they can't be in college. College is free in New York State. So we can send kids to school any place. And the important thing is, send them to school. So my mission today is I'm fighting for every single child from kindergarten to 12th grade. Let's go to school. Let's go to school. And if anyone wants to work with me, okay, you'll contact me. I'll give you my contact information, and I'll let you know how we're going to be working this program with getting kids back in school. But I do thank everyone for the award, and I think my sentiments go as Jerome has said. The community has given me so much. I should be thanking you guys for everything that you've done. And I'll make my life available to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Just like Steve said, after we get all the kids to school, after we work on that committee and get all the kids to school, then we need the committee to keep this program here going. So we still need some of you people out in the audience to join the committee of Old Timers Weekend. We need ideas, we need suggestions, we need bodies. Okay, so that invitation is open to everybody in here. We would like to have about 8. Like I said, Miss Angel and Miss Holden have shown interest in us, and hopefully they'll be part of our team, but we still need some more community people to help. Okay, moving on forward, we're going to put a little swing to this. I'm going to bring up the youth coordinator of this building to continue the rest of the ceremony, especially to bring up the youth who are receiving awards. There's nobody better than the youth coordinators to introduce these people. So with that saying that, I'm going to bring up the youth director of this building, Andre Vanterpool. And Lamont Eddins, excuse me, look, Andre Vanterpool and Lamont Eddins. Like to introduce these guys.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Good, good. Just want to say a few words. Andre and I are introducing the next nominee for tonight's ceremony. So before we begin, just want to say a few words on this person's behalf. The other doc, Julius Irby, says, I think I started learning lessons about being a good person long before I ever knew what basketball was. And that started at home. It starts with parental influence. So kind of going back what Steve has said. So you should definitely honor your mother for what she did for you and how she raised you and the type of man you became. So she certainly deserves this award just as much as you do. All right, so carrying those lessons about life and basketball and what he learned from home, he did his best to instill that into younger generations such as myself and Andre. And he gave you his all. Give you a shirt his back, give you the last $5 in his pocket, the last ounce of gas in his tank to get you to the court and back. So that really meant a lot to me personally. All right, so I want to end on my speech by saying, paraphrasing Brigham Young, a good man is a good man, whether in the church or not.
Good evening, everyone. Being asked to speak about the community and especially many of the mentors and faces that helped mold me into the person today, it's hard for me to kind of write anything down about it. So I'll just kind of speak from the heart of, you know, the word community is very loosely used nowadays because I can say from my generation down, haven't had some of the same experiences as the older generation when it comes to the sense of community. Like Jerome spoke of at the time when he came, a lot of the programs and people of the community either shut down or going forward. So I know that when I speak community to a lot of the new faces that have come, they haven't had the same fortunes that I've had in having some of the experiences with each and every one of you in this room. So I can speak to how instances like Mr. Key, I can talk about stories that, you know, him giving me his New York Knicks tickets when there were no more tickets left for me to go and sacrificing that, or how many, my best friend of 25 years and how many hours I spent in Alberta's house growing up in this neighborhood. I can speak on everyone here to say that the bonding and the time that I've spent to see the stories that helped mold me into the person I am, that hasn't continued, which is why we see much of the disconnect. Being in this building and seeing it from a different angle helps me to understand the fortune that I've had growing up during my time. Someone like Doug Irby spent countless hours of his hard time, money, of mentoring us the best way that he knew possible. And being in this position, like, I didn't understand how those things molded me to be in the same position that he was in during his time. The things that I took in and how I can relay that onto the community is now. But a lot of the bonds that I've had with people like Lamont is because of Doug. Because the older generation and the younger generation, we were all on the bus together, riding to Glen Cove, to Westbury, to Hempstead, playing basketball and spending time together and bonding. And when you're in the trenches, you don't realize what you're actually doing, but he's building lifelong relationships with people in the community. These are things that we always remember, the programs that were upstairs in the building, the game rooms, playing pool with my friends. These are things that Doug was all a part of. Doug has spent countless hours of talking to me when I was having trouble with school, when my father passed away, my mother passed away. Things that Doug was always there from when I was young to now that I'm a young man, and he's still there for me, talking to me. So we talk about how the community's changed and how things have changed, but we don't always talk about what we can actually do about it. Reaching out to us, someone like myself, someone like Lamont, someone like Jamel, people are here to carry on the torch, the legacy, the stories, because we don't want them to die when people move on. We have to cherish, we have to have a way of continuing the community that we once see, that we once grew, to continue it on with us and the new generation, because you guys are pivotal of why this building is still here, why these memories, why you walk into this gym and you see the Temptations routine that you did when you were here. Because, and one of my first basketball tournaments was in here for the Martin Luther King 3-on-3 tournament when I was young. These are the first times that I was playing. So I definitely had to speak on the things that we can do as a community, and understanding that our generation doesn't always understand what you mean by community. We have to build a new community, because that's where we are now. I could go on and on about Doug, but I would love to bring him up to accept this award, and on behalf of myself and all the people that you've touched throughout your time here.
First things first, I'd like to thank God for the opportunity for me to stand up here today with these gentlemen and this lady accepting this award. Because a lot of you know it certainly didn't have to be this way for me. I'd like to thank my family, my mom, who is unable to be here today. I just left her a little while ago. I wish she was here to see this. To thank my family, Sonia, my 3 kids over there. My daughter is 12. I don't know what I was thinking. Ooh, boy, I ain't gonna never be able to retire. I'd like to thank the Old Timers Day Committee. A lot of y'all probably wondering, what the hell did he ever do to deserve an award like this? Well, I can tell you with certainty that it pays to have family in high places. and I got a nickname for my brother here. I call him the mayor of Pond Hill Road. Anything you want to know about anything that goes on around here, go to Dennis. So, and again, thank you, brother. I love you, man, and thank you. And thank you for this building. Thank you for this building. If walls could talk, a lot of us in here would be in a lot of trouble. Because we lived here. We slept there and there, but we lived here. We learned here. We loved here, we laughed here, we fought here. I remember when I moved into this community from the other side of town, Steamboat Road. And it seemed like I had something on my forehead. Like it must have said, "Fight me." I lost a lot of fights. I wasn't much of a fighter. Okay, but the way that I was able to keep them off of me, I've learned how to do this. right here. Right here. Some of y'all in here I took some revenge on them. The baskets was lower there. That thing there looked real high today. But, you know, after a number of years of being away from the community, I ended up back here. And Jerome came to me and asked me one day, would I help with the basketball program? And I jumped right in, and I don't know what happened. It was like I was swept on a wave, you know, and I couldn't stop. You know, my heart was into this community, the youth of this community, and I couldn't stop it. And like they said, countless hours every day. I had a job at North Shore Hospital, and I think I worked part-time up there or something, but they paid me full-time, so I was grateful for that, because I was always here. Always here. And Jerome, thank you for that first invitation to join what was going on here. And Steve, you know, they mentioned the money, the time. They didn't mention that Dodge Caravan that we piled 10, 12 kids up at a time and drove them all over Nassau County just to play basketball. Just to play basketball. Thank you for that. My friend Michael Bates over there, I remember when I first came back here, your father was running the basketball program here. He had a team here, and I used to come and watch him coach the team, just like I used to stand in that window and watch people play. Thank you. June. What's your name? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. And June, Auntie June, known throughout the community. Her heart is so full of love and compassion that no kid is without a parent or an aunt as long as she's around. And thank you for that. You know, let me read something here that I came across. This is from an anonymous source, but it says, service is not a position on a committee. It is a posture in the heart. It is a way of life we can practice in all of our affairs. It can be as simple as holding a door open for someone, or as complicated as helping a loved one in their last stages of life. Our relationships to service and the way we express it changes as our humility deepens. And you know, for me, it was all from my heart. I never did anything for pats on the back, or certainly not for money, but I did it because God delivered me from another life and placed me back here where my life as a young man began. And the only thing I did was give back what they gave to me. That's all I did, was give back what they gave to me. And when I say they, I heard people talk about Miss Matillo and some of the other things. I mean, that was for the most part, for the young women. But the men, the males, we had some other role models. And they didn't pat us on the back and sugarcoat things. I mean, they gave it to us raw. They helped us become men. I know I didn't have a father in the house. But when I found the community center, when I found the center, and Mr. Maynard, okay, in the game room, teaching music, Mr. Banks, coming from Hempstead over here and just instilling a lot of wisdom on us just because we were here. We were playing ping pong, shooting pool, playing basketball, but always what they tried to do was impart wisdom on us that would help us in our future lives. And then there was one in particular, one in particular, and I'm going to lead into something that we're going to be doing here. Mr. Clint Conway. Mr. Clint Conway, who ran this gym for all of my youth, and certainly before that. And he was a man of physical stature, a man of mental stature and integrity, a spiritual man. You know, he didn't talk to us about church and all that stuff, but he was a spiritual man. And he imparted his wisdom, his spirit on us. And a lot of us were closer to him than we were to the people in our own homes. Okay, so leading into that, I'd just like to say, is there anyone else in here whose life was impacted by Mr. Clint Conway? I'd like for you to come up here and stand up here with me. Al, D, Mike, Clozell, Stephen, y'all come on up here. Bentley, come on up here. Aaron Mitchell, come on up here. Come on up here. Jerome, see, and I just let me say one thing. All these guys are way older than me. But what you see standing here, is a product of the Community Service Center and the men that mentored us all of our lives. And so what we're doing, we're simply giving back. We simply give it back, not because there's reward in it, not because there's prestige in it, you know, although it's a beautiful thing right here, all right? But I must say that we do it because that's what was instilled in us. That's what was given to us, so freely given to us. So what we do is give back. And how are we gonna honor Mr. Clint Conway? We have formed a committee that will establish a scholarship fund in the name of Mr. Clint Conway. And we will have that scholarship ready to go at this event in 2018. We will present our first scholarships in the name of Mr. Clint Conway. So once again, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. And thank you all for being my friends, my brother, my mentor. I love all of you guys. Okay? And we will keep this thing going. Come on up here, Peter Williams. Don't sit down. You knew Conway too. Yeah, you knew Conway too. So again, Andre and Lamont, can't say enough about these young men. One looking like an executive over there. You know, I'd like to think that he watched me dress up a couple times. He might have surpassed anything that I might be able to do. And Andre, I remember Andre, he was about 11 or 12 years old. And he said to me, this is no lie. He said to me, when I finish college, I'm gonna come back here and work in this community. 12 years old, already in his heart. Your service was already in his heart at the age of 12. So you know anything he says, anything he does is real. It's real. It is given to him from God. It's given to him through God. And for that, we all are eternally grateful to you. So any of y'all that know me, I'm going to shut it down right now, but I got a whole lot more stuff to talk about if y'all want to hear it. No, I'm just playing. All right, again, thank you all so much for being here. And remember, service is a posture in the heart. Thank you.
Okay, just saw a person to walk into the building who is responsible for this night even evolving. She was one of the starters of this program. Unfortunately, it started off being called the 50 and over. It was the people that was 50 and over that was from this community. And then it kind of went south to a community ceremony award. But I just like to acknowledge the person who initially started this Friday night event, Mrs. Gwen Oliver. I've been trying to get her here for the last couple of years to recognize her for starting this event. I talked to her son, and here she is. So, Mrs. Gwen Oliver.
Well, thank you everybody for being here. Dolores Adams, better known as Lolo, and I just came up with the idea before the reunion down in the park that we wanted something to do. Then we had Mr. Irby with his all-white affair on Saturday, so we decided to make it a 3-day holiday weekend for the community. And we did start it with the over 50 crowd, and youngsters came in, but I am so happy with the way that it went. It's very informative, and it does have to come from your heart. It has to come from your heart. That's all I have to say, and I love you all, and can love one another, because to receive, you have to give. So keep giving to one another. That's it.
Okay, Ms. Gwen Oliver.
I would like to honor some of the students who have done tremendous work in the community, doing an excellent job of tutoring the kids, of being mentors, continuing the legacy that we have within the community. So first, I would like to bring Faith Garvin.
First, I want to thank my bosses, Ms. Angel and Mrs. Holden. It started last year. I was in 11th grade, and my best friend told me to come volunteer here. And normally what I would do is get home from school and just watch TV, so I said, why not? And first day I came here, I met Ms. Angel, Ms. Holden, and I thought, wow, really, really great people to meet. And when I volunteered, coming here every day, it was a joy seeing the kids coming off the bus and going upstairs, helping them with their homework, and just a smile on their faces to see someone that they know helping every day. It was just a joy. Thank you.
And secondly, our next young man who's done the same tutoring, helping out with the kids, also has been a great help with me in my summer program as a volunteer. The kids love him, always has a great attitude, very excellent and easy kid, Isaac Serpas.
'Cause I was in St. Pete. I also started here. I started here in 6th grade, and the program, the registered learning program, helped me a lot because I actually didn't know any English when I got here, and they really helped me there. Miss Holden, Miss Angel, they were really great with me. So in the 7th grade, I decided to come here, and I started helping the kids, and I really liked it. So I always come back. Thank you.
2017 honorees. Okay, thank you. Thank y'all. Former Mayor of Hempstead, Mr. George Garner, and guests. Mr. Garner is also from this community. Mr. James Garner is also from this community, former Mayor of Hempstead. I'd like to bring him up right now to say a couple words.
Good evening, everyone. I wasn't quite born in this community, but it was such an early age when I came here. So let me see how many people in that audience that remember Hotel James. I remember Gibson. I remember Curry. All right, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's my honor this evening to introduce to you a gentleman who is on my left. I've had the privilege of working with him for the last 6 years. As you know, I served as the first African American in the state of New York, Mayor of Hempstead. Got elected, and I served for 16 long years. And I didn't have enough because it was still in my blood. Please welcome the 13th elected control for Nassau County, the Honorable George.
Good evening. What Mayor Garner forgot to tell you is that he's also the first African American Chief Deputy County Controller. And we've been together now for 6 years. And it's been a friendship that has gotten closer and closer. You know, and I've been delighted to have Jim with me. And I blame Jim Garner. Or actually, you should blame Jim Garner if you don't receive enough money from the county, because, you know, he's the guy that writes the checks. I don't sign anything. He signs the checks. So I just want to let you know that. So any complaints that you have, you know, please see Jim Garner, because his budget, listen to this, is $3 billion. His budget is $3 billion. And he never wants to talk about it. He's very quiet, very modest. He doesn't want people to know about it. But I can tell people, okay? But he spends it wisely. He makes sure that taxpayer money is very well spent. So, you know, Jim asked me tonight to pass by and say hello, because this is his home, whether he admits it or not. And I wanted to stop by and present citations to your honorees. So I'll ask the honorees to please come up, and let's give them a round of applause.
Michael, you want to come up and accept it on behalf of your father, Tom Bates, who taught me how to play golf. June Davis.
Doug, put your thing up. Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause, another round of applause. They deserve it. And the little announcement that we have is that I've been your controller for 8 years now, and I'm running for county executive on the Democratic ticket. We have a primary on September the 12th. So if I win, Jim's going to come with me and be my chief deputy county executive. So please support me. Thank you, and God bless you all. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you again. Thank you so much, Eddins, for allowing us to come to say a few words. And I used to be a teenager running around here myself. Used to play ball every day back then. You know what those houses were built like? And that's just a basketball court. They used to play back there every day. So again, I want to thank you. I a documentary which is still looking good all these years from the quality and the few of you in this audience who are shown the documentary as well. So again, congratulations and have a wonderful time. And the comptroller will see you on Sunday afternoon at Old Town